let's discuss Star Trek Lower Decks, Episode 2, Envoy. Okay, let's get to the plot. So, the episode picks up view stream, and there we go. The episode picks up with these two smegheads walking around the corridor. There's a glowy life form, and this annoying prig is like, I'm gonna squeeze it into this container, at which point it is like, oh, I can grant wishes, and then she is like, oh, give me one of those new fancy tricorders with the purple stripe, which I have no idea when would have come into effect, because they look like the old style tricorders that they were using on Voyager and on Enterprise pre-2377, as you'll remember from Star Trek Nemesis, which takes place in 2379-ish, because it's after Voyager came back home. They have those tricorders that literally just look like a smartphone. It's a full screen with a little tiny flap thing. But no, this one is the standard tricorder. It just has a purple stripe. Anyway, so she forces the creature to make it, which like wastes its energy, shrinks it, and then completely dies off by the end of the scene. And you never see this tricorder ever again, because it's just a freaking joke, or supposed to be like this thing. Then we get to the credits, which are as stupid as you'd think. Then they're talking. Boimler shows up and he's like, I have this assignment. I am transporting the Klingon ambassador or something. Some Klingon guy. Then this guy, he has just finished cleaning the maintenance ducts, and he's all like, oh, well, now I get to do some other engineering work. And she's all like, oh, I want to spend time with you. You should come check out the pulsar with me. And then for some reason that results in him deciding to try out different careers so he can have time to view the pulsar with her. As if you can't just ask your supervisor for a couple hours off, or just switch shifts with someone. It's dumb. Anyway, so yeah, he's changing careers. She's eating noodles in a shuttlecraft, and that stupid scene with the gets super retarded. Yeah, he decides to quit engineering. The chief engineer is like, oh, well, best of luck. Then she weasels her way into his assignment and supersedes his authority, so she is essentially going to be outranking him on his assignment, and he's her assistant because, yeah. Then this Klingon guy shows up. I was actually really surprised that the Klingon actually retained the Klingon appearance of regular Star Trek, because, Kurtzman, he made them all like turtle shitheads. They go to the planet. They land on the planet. What is it with the round open mouth? Every episode there is a freaking character that's waiting to give a blowjob or something. So they land on a planet. The Klingon is drunk because, this one goes way back with a Klingon, back, years and years, when she had a different life and all this kind of stuff. They're the same age. They're in their mid to early 20s. And anyway, so apparently everyone hates the Federation now, because every single one of these people, they get triggered and offended by anyone in a Federation or Starfleet uniform, and he has to keep saying, yes, we are Federation dogs, and grovel. What the fuck? This weird thing that apparently can only talk in regurgitating tongue or something. I have no fucking idea. Then we get to this guy considering the career in command. And then we have freaking simulations that are literally this, just a bunch of little, like, name-dropping moments, like the Janeway maneuver or something like that. Because we haven't heard about Janeway in a while. And yeah, of course he freezes because I have no fucking idea what's wrong with any of these people. And this guy, he's like the ultimate bro dude, douchebag. And for some reason, yeah, so this here, those are babies getting vented out into space because that's funny. That is so funny. Then I have no idea what's going on here. These guys are obviously gay. Then he meets this woman, and he's into her, and she's into him, and it turns out that she is this weird critter that, like, wants to burrow into his neck and lay eggs, or some shit like that. And yeah, these creatures just like casually walking around. It's, yeah, and I have no idea. This is supposed to be like a marketplace. So why the hell are these guys here dressed like they're, going on Risa? Because this is not supposed to be Risa, even though there is a Hoken in the main square. I have no idea what the fuck is going on in this world, in this thing. Oh yeah, so when they're on the planet, the Klingon gets drunk and passes out. They leave the shuttle unattended, and then the Klingon guy steals the shuttle. And they're all like, "Oh, we can't leave now. We have to go and retrieve our shuttle." So they go, like, talking to all these weirdos about getting the shuttle back. Well, not even about the shuttle. They're, like, trying to find the Klingon guy. And I will tell you why this is stupid when we get to, a couple more skips into the episode. So then this guy, after failing at command, he tries medical, and he freaks this guy out, and, like, this guy's about to die, and then they tell him, like, leave, you're not good for this job. And then he tries tactical, so that's the Borg we saw in the trailer. It's like from the second episode. It's a hologram simulation, and he is super amazing at battling the Borg, and he's like the best in that ever was. But then he decides, like, nah, screw that. I'm not gonna do tactical. Then there's, like, this thing is a shapeshifter, not an Andorian. So that's the second time that there's been, like, a weird shapeshifter alien that Boimler thought was a benign creature, and what the frack was her name? Mariner or some shit like that. That annoying black chick. She is like, oh, like, I can spot these a mile away, because, I'm the bestest ever. And then she gets oh yeah, this is, like, money that she stole from the blue guy from earlier. And then she buys everyone drinks so they won't fight because reasons. And then he is thinking of quitting Starfleet because, he sucks and she is so much better than he is. And then, of course, because she has to be right, she hires a Ferengi to pretend to be a thief or something. Anyway, then the Bajoran chief... Wait, is he chief engineer? No, hang on. No, he's the tactical, yeah, he's tactical here. So yeah, he's all like, yeah, you're really good at this job, you should do it, and then the guy decides to quit because he sees a girl crawling out of a Jeffries tube. So yeah, and then this is a Ferengi that she hires to attack them so that he would be like... Oh, actually not even attack them, to, like, just try to extort them so that he would be... That's a Ferengi. They're notorious about trying to extort people. And then she could be like, no, that's a Bolian. They're awesome, they're nice. So that she could, pretend to be wrong, so that she will boost his morale so that he would come back to Starfleet. Yada yada yada, blah blah blah. Oh, and then then they they find the shuttle, which for some reason has parking tickets on, as dumb as that is. And they find the Klingon still in the shuttle, and they deliver him to. So they find him passed out, and they'll deliver him to. Well, I mean, you can sort of see, like, I just can't get to this present time, but it's a Federation embassy on this planet, and while they're searching for the guy and the shuttle, there's about a dozen shuttles in the background. Like, you can literally use any one of those shuttles to contact the ship so that they can send a shuttle to come pick you up. Or so that they can scan for the shuttle you lost. Or you can go to the embassy so they can, with, better resources than the shuttles or something on the ground. Or there's, like, flight control. There's all kinds of stuff that they could have done. That they could have, just gone and looked for the shuttle that way and found the guy within, 5 minutes. But no. They spend this whole episode just walking around and doing fuck all. Just so that she could be right. And, yeah. And then, he is... they get back to the ship, and he's telling everyone how, like, she thought that the Ferengi was a Bolian. And, she's pretending to be all embarrassed, and these guys are all like, oh, I tried all this other stuff to have some time, but I don't like any of the careers. I kind of want to stay in engineering. And then she's like, oh, it's fine. I can just hang out with you in Jeffrey's tubes. I don't need to see the pulsars and, like, for real. I can just watch them on my iPad. Wow. A science officer that's like, nah, it's fine. I don't want to actually do science. I will just, like, telecommute science. That's gonna be fine. It's not like, studying a pulsar up close and, getting all the readings and getting all your curiosity flowing and being all like, oh, what's happening is anything to do with science. No. It's I'll just let others do the work and I'll just, like, watch it on Instagram. Like, for fuck's sakes. So they, and then, of course, she is talking to she's talking to the Ferengi on her pad, and she's like, oh, you did good, you did a good act, you did acted good, yes. And then, these guys are in the Jeffrey's tube, and that's the end of the episode, luckily. So, let's see, some highlights of this episode. They managed to sink to a new low. I think that's a highlight for me, because this show sucks. They managed to stick to a new low. They constantly did stupid name dropping. Like, any chance they can... That's literally what they do. They're like, we're gonna pretend that this is Star Trek, and we're just gonna throw out buzzwords, and people are gonna think it's Star Trek because they're gonna hear the buzzwords, and they're gonna associate that with actual Star Trek. And, like, Janeway Maneuver, Klingons, Bat'leth, Andorian. Like, there was just so many freaking references. But none of them panned out correctly. Like, nothing. At one point, freaking Mariner, the annoying bitch, she says, look, when Boimler comes in and he's like, oh, I've been tasked to be the envoy for this Klingon guy. He says the name, and the Orion chick, she's like, oh, that sounds familiar. Why does that sound familiar? And then Mariner says, I know why. Because all Klingons' names have an apostrophe in it. Really? Okay, what are some of the most prominent Klingons that we've seen? Gowron, no apostrophe. Kahless, no apostrophe. Worf, who was son of Moog. No apostrophe in either of them. Let's go back to the TOS era. Koloth. Kor. The other one, I always forget. The only Klingons I can think of that have apostrophes, well, in actual Star Trek, B'Elanna, and Kavak, I think. And Kavak, you only see him in like one episode of Voyager and Voyager Endgame. The House of Kavak. Let's see. Duras, that's another guy that didn't have an apostrophe. Duras sisters, like they were. Actually, I think one of them had an apostrophe, like Baylor and Telora or something like that. But there's like 3 or 4 Klingons that we've seen in the entirety that had an apostrophe in the name. Majority of them did not. If she had said, all Vulcans have names that start with S or T, I would have no problem with that, because we've seen T'Pol, T'Pau, T'Pel, Tuvok, Spock, Talora, all that kind of stuff. And then, that just annoyed the piss out of me for the whole episode, because I just kept thinking of like more and more Klingon names that just completely do not go with that. The only from the modern era, yeah, the Kurtzman Klingons have freaking apostrophes, like the Tukuvma. Like, what the fuck is that? Anyway, I will wrap this up because it's getting a little bit long, and I really don't want to talk about this garbage dumpster fire piece of shit farmbot fartfrel dren anymore. Until next time, let's talk then. Just make sure to like the video, make sure you comment down below, tell me your thoughts about this episode, and share, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. Make sure you also hit the bell notification icon there. Bell. That was going to be a little bell. So that you can get notified when I post new videos. And I will see you later tonight. If you watch my streaming videos, I will be streaming More Evil Genius tonight, I think. I might actually do a recording and then stream on Saturday and Sunday. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. Peace.